Hello and welcome to Rolling with Reviews. I'm Will, and with me as always is the one who spins me right round like a record, baby.
Sarah.
And today we're doing a review of Rock Hard 1977. Now if you're curious about our two-player perspective and accessibility, check out our other video, Rolling with Two, Rock Hard 1977. Sarah, tell us a bit about this game.
All right. Set in 1977, the players are up-and-coming musicians, dreaming of making it big. Over 9 months, you'll rehearse, play gigs, write songs, and promote your band. With careful planning and a lot of luck, you'll be the one to earn the most fame and become the best new artist of the year. All right, Will, so why did we get this?
So we like it when we see a game that looks highly thematic and has strategy in it.
Yes.
And given the fact that this was a musical one with a classic rock essentially motif, we figured, okay, that's a theme that we could get behind. It's a little bit different. It's not trading in anything. Sure, why not? Let's give it a try. And so we picked it up.
Yep, one of the few games we've bought direct from retail kind of thing. Okay, so what do we like about the game?
Highly thematic.
Yes, it really succeeds at, you feel the theme. I mean, you are living the theme the whole way through.
Yeah, and it's also represented by a lot of the components in the game. So for example, your player board isn't just a board, it's an amp with knobs.
Yeah.
And the knobs track your stats.
Yeah.
And the turn order, they're guitar picks. So that's another nice thematic nod to things. And then, of course, everything that just happens in the game is a good representation.
Like the fact that you start off with a job because you are not a full-time musician, but now you've got to balance succeeding at your job because there's a certain time of day you have to go to your job. And if you don't, you get like, what is it, some sort of token.
Yeah, you missed work.
You missed work. And if you miss work 3 times, you're fired. You lose your job. But there's going to be a certain point in the game where you're like, I'm going to quit my job anyways. I'm going to make it big. So it's, again, very thematic.
I'm not a truck driver, Mom or Dad. I'm an artist.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Kind of thing. So.
Ya bum.
So yeah, it's very thematic. The fact that during the day you're going to do things that like improve you. Then there's the evening part, which is the performances, and then after hours you go party. Yeah, most of the time.
The weird thing is when it comes to your job, there is a certain time of day, which means one of the three phases. It has to be when you take work, because you're like, well, I don't really have anything to do during the day. Well, that's not when your job is. Your job's at night.
Right.
So you can only work at night. You can't work during the day because that's not your job.
Right. So it is highly thematic. And like we said, the components then are also very clever. That's about it of what we liked about the game, though. Right. What we don't like is all this amazing thematic game design choices just undermines the strategy that's in the game.
Yeah, so the whole second half of what we were looking for was strategic. And it sounds, we talked to someone that was part of the playtesting early on and said that the strategy was there, but later on they made some extra passes at it and sort of brought it down to
more casual. They wanted to be able to straddle the line of this game being enjoyed by both casual and hardcore gamers. But then you do that, casual usually needs more randomness. And the random effects in here just completely throw the strategy out of the window for most hardcore gamers that want strategy. Now, this is going to be very Amerithrash, that those who love rolling with the dice and taking risks and seeing if it pays off and having that highly thematic random experience, this is going to be great. But it is not what we were looking for, where this is a worker placement game. But there are points where the game kind of tells you, don't play the game.
Yeah.
There's events that just say, well, all the hangouts in the evening are closed.
Yes, and that's the most interesting part of that phase of the game.
Right.
So it's like, okay, so don't engage with the cool part of the game. Got you.
Yeah.
You want me to be bored.
Right. So it was frustrating for us because there were aspects of the game we really wanted to experience, and the randomness just kind of kept coming up in our face saying, nope, you don't get to do that this time. And I'm like, okay, well, what are we going to do now, kind of thing. Also, where this is a very highly thematic game, it all breaks down in cleanup and set up for the next round because it just completely breaks the flow with how much you have to do.
Right. It's like you're living a rock star lifestyle. All right, cool, awesome, amazing. Hey, remember to do your taxes.
Yeah. It's just like 8 or 9 things that you have to do to clean up, reshuffle the deck for the candy. You've got to flip over the event. You've got to flip over the, the random gig. You've got to figure out turn order.
Whether or not anyone needs to go to rehab.
You got to then reshuffle the little tokens that identify the hot spots by numbers.
Income, pay your manager.
Move the round tracker.
If you're playing with the 2 players, the Rising Star tokens all need to move
Any
around.
one of these things by themselves is fine. It's just there's so many things to do.
You feel like you're doing more between rounds than you're actually doing during the rounds.
Right. So that really broke up the game flow to us, and it's just is a lot of unfun bookkeeping, and it feels clunky. Like it could have been streamlined somehow, but it wasn't.
Yeah. And then of course we also really didn't like the sugar.
Sugar.
The candy.
The candy mechanism. It's a really big risk for very little reward. You spend a candy to hopefully be able to do an extra action in one phase, but you could have a sugar crash, which means the next day you wouldn't be able to do anything during the daytime because you have to go to rehab. You could spend a candy and actually not get an extra action at all. You could get sugar-free candy, which means you've spent a token for absolutely nothing, and those tokens are not easy to get. They're very expensive to buy and very not frequent in the rewards.
Yeah, expensive in terms of your time.
Yes.
Because paying $1, you could probably get around that, but you're very limited on how much you can really do in a phase. And spending it just buying your candy is kind of one of the worst ways to actually spend your time.
Right. And the whole thing is, the more candy you have, then the higher you have to track your sugar levels to, again, check if you're going to have a crash. So you have to roll the die, and if it's over, I can't remember which, you crash.
Yes, if you roll and the die is over or equal to, I think you're fine. If it's under, then you crash.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of bookkeeping. Right. Just for a very, very small mechanism.
Right, and the fact that you've got this deck of cards, and if someone goes to it first, they're more likely to get either the good thing or the bad thing, because you could get 2 actions out of it. There's one card that gives you 2 actions. There's one card that gives you 0, and then the rest are 1 action. So if you see someone has just picked up the sugar-free, then you're more likely on your turn going to spend candy so that you can hopefully get the hard candy. But if someone's already got the hard candy, so maybe you won't, because then you're more likely. I don't know. I just found the deck cumbersome, especially since you have to shuffle it.
Yeah.
And then on the 2-player bot, for us, we found it very lackluster.
Yeah. Here's just a list of check what month and check what's not available.
Yeah.
It's essentially what it boiled down to.
Right. I mean, we're not generally fans of 2-player bots anyways, but this one was really not dynamic. It is just a list of things you can't do each round.
Yeah. Now, the neat thing is, if you are playing strategically, you could plan for what's going to be blocked, because you have full knowledge of everything that's happening. Of course, the cards throw in that extra bit of, hey, don't play the game.
Right, the event deck. Events. Yeah, mainly it's the event deck that pops up with, don't play the game. So, not fun there. Okay, I think, though, that covers everything we don't like about the game.
All right.
Who this is for?
We'd say casual gamers who are willing to put up with a lot of complex little rules that they have to do. Additionally, intermediate gamers who are willing to forego the strategy and like a thematic experience.
Yeah, if you're willing to literally roll with the dice, you like that experience where you just flip up a card and you're like, what's going to happen? And you really like that surprise, then you're going to like this game. Mm-hmm. It's just if you are wanting a strategic worker placement that is highly thematic, you're probably not going to really enjoy this.
Right.
Probably. All right. Let's go over our rating.
Okay, for our ratings, we each have 1d6 worth of ratings. 1 is low, 6 is high, and we give a number, a reason why, add them together, and see what it rolled for us. Sarah, what did Rock Hard 1977 roll for you?
I give it a 3 because it succeeds on its thematics. It very much made me feel like I was a musician trying to eke it out as, well, a musician. But what I wanted from the rest of it absolutely fell apart. I did not like the 2-player bot. I absolutely hate the candy mechanism. I thought it was an interesting idea at first, but just the whole risk of it didn't work for me. Maybe it's because I am risk averse, or I already felt there was so much time cost into getting candy that I should just spend it and I should just get an extra action, because it's not like you can get fistfuls of candy in the game. So if I got 2 pieces of candy, I should be able to use them in, 2 different phases or to get an extra action and not have to worry about, am I going to get action or not get an action or whatnot. So that was it for me. So 3.
Okay, this might surprise you. I'm giving it a 5.
I am very surprised.
I don't like the game. I think there is a lot of balancing issues that just weren't taken into consideration. However, I don't think that was the designer's goal in this game. I came with the assumption that it was going to be a nice strategy game because things are structured in a Euro type style. That's not the case. That's set aside. That's my own preconceived notions of the game. What this game is, though, is a very, very thematic game. And it's hard to point to games and go, well, that one game is thematic. This one I can easily point to and go, yeah, that's thematic. And it's thematic in a genre or a topic that I don't see enough thematic games for. This one I can look and go, yeah, that was a rock. I'm a rock star now. I can be that. But I come at it with the caveat knowing that it's not mechanically the most sound. In fact, there's even one action like in the Hangouts. It's like recording a demo. Okay, it's a very important action because you're going to need a demo to get a record deal. All right, I've taken that action. You never have to look at that action ever again.
And it takes up a pretty large spot on the board.
Yes.
And it's something that each player will do once.
Yes. Now, they did say that they're planning for more expansions and they'll utilize that action more. But it's sad when that important of an action is given this much prominence in the base game and you do it once?
Yeah.
So mechanically, there are things that I find fault with it. And again, like Sarah said, this was not the experience that we wanted out of the game. But I think it succeeded in the game that the designer was trying to make, and that was a highly thematic experience for being a rocker in 1977, which is why I gave it a 5. So, 8 out of 12.
Which means if you're looking for a highly thematic game about being a rock star, this is going to be right up your alley.
Yes.
For other people, not so much.
No.
Okay, then.
All right. And Sarah.
Yes.
Would this be... How would this rank? Like, for example, if you're, counting down the hits... where would this rank in terms of like your best musical based games?
I'm trying to think of other musical-based games. You want to list some?
This game goes to 11.
Okay.
Ovation.
Oh, that's true.
Let's see. I know there's been other musical-based games.
My brain is completely blank. But of those two, I love Ovation. I will play Ovation any day. And this game goes to 11 is fantastic with higher player counts.
Right.
We've played it 2-player. It's a party game. It's not meant to be 2.
What was that game that was like jazz-based, and it was the Big Easy?
Oh, yeah. Something with busking in it.
Yeah.
Big Easy
busking.
I'm trying to remember. I think we liked that game, but I don't remember if we kept it.
I'm not sure we did.
I'm not sure we did, but I think we kind of liked that. But it was a smaller game, so that one, it's always hard to compare smaller games with larger games. Right. I don't think we've ever played a music-based game. I know one exists because I know I've seen ones like you're putting on a music festival, which I am forgetting the name of that one right now. But I don't think we've ever played anything this large of a game, so I don't think I have anything that I'd really compare it to.
Mm-hmm.
But
in terms of like thematics, where would this kind of rank?
Ovation and this feel very much thematically strong.
Yeah, but since we really like the strategic elements of Ovation, that's what we would put above this when it comes to what we were looking for.
Right.
But interesting. And when we gave really high scores to Ovation.
And this game goes to 11. It's just a number game.
Yeah.
So that could be anything.
Yeah.
But it is highly fun.
Right.
Okay.
All right. And we've been Rolling with Reviews. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can reach out to us on the various social media platforms at
Rolling with 2, that's TWO. We're on Blue Sky, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For Discord, we have a channel on Tabletop Express. Check the show notes for the invite link.
If you have time, check out the other content Nanaman has found for you, because remember, he's rolling with you.